going to be a part. Kip is always going to be a part of their story. So Tyrese, can you read the quote one more time for us?
When you look at someone, remember that everyone has a story. Everyone has gone through something that has changed their life, their hearts, and their destiny, including you.
You guys have been a huge part of honestly changing my heart and changing my destiny. I never thought I would have ended up living here in Kip, New Orleans. Tyrese.
Why does page shape is better?
It's a good question. I'll pick up away next time. So what I do want you to do though is now in 3 seconds turn your page. Because before we talk about our stories and before we listen and get to know other people's stories in a class, I want to share a true story with you about somebody named Kyle. This story is told by Kyle's best friend, and it's a true story. It's actually a story my 7th grade teacher shared with me, and I've remembered it to this day. And so if this story even sticks with one person in this room, I feel like that I have done something great. While we read this story, I want to make sure you're following along. So if you're somebody who likes to follow along with your finger or your pencil, I want you to be ready because on my snap, I want to hear the word that we are on. So everybody turn to where it says the story of Kyle and get ready because it's going to be really powerful. So here we go. The story of Kyle. One day, when I was a freshman in high school, I saw a kid from my class walking home from school. His name was Kyle. It looked like he was carrying all of his books. I thought to myself, why would anyone bring home all his books on a Friday? He must really be a nerd. So we just learned some things about Kyle. You don't have to write full sentences. I just want you to put words. What are some words that we could use to describe Kyle? With your partner, fill in the box. Go.
Nerd. A reader. Not a nerd. A reader. An intelligent person.
A nerd. All right, bring it back to me in 3, 2, and 1. Now when you give your word, I want you to say it loud enough that I do not have to repeat it. Who has a word to describe Kyle? That's not enough for you? I'm waiting on about 5. Who has a word? Say it nice and loud.
Parties and a football game with my friends tomorrow afternoon. So I shrugged my shoulders and went on. As I was walking, I saw a bunch of kids running towards him. They ran at him, knocking all his books out of his arms and tripping him so he landed in the dirt. His glasses went flying, and I saw them land in the grass about 10 feet from him. He looked up, and I saw this terrible sadness in his eyes.
There are 2 people. One is the narrator, that's the person telling the story. The other one is Kyle, the person who we described in the beginning. So now with your partner, what are some words that we might use to describe the narrator? What are some words we would use to describe Kyle? Go.
You could describe the narrator
Observant.
How long did she jump?
It's funny.
Good. So write it up right there.
I like